This Hangout on Air is live. It's Alicia Stringer here, and we are in the Millionaire Mindset Hangout. I'm so thankful you are here. If you are here on our Millionaire Mindset Hangout page, please refresh. If you can go and comment for us and let us know you can hear us. Greta, if you're out there and you can hear us, make sure you comment to know. Refresh now, because I think some people were watching last week's, just before this week is really powerful to kind of review and refresh. We're going to be going through over the Dream Giver book by Bruce Wilkinson. So I'm out here in Nashville, and thankfully my daughter is well this week. So she is back at school, so I feel like I'm free again. It's awesome. But Greta's over there in cold Canada with a half a dozen kids, so come on out, Greta, and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here, as usual. Every week I look forward to these Hangouts, and yes, I am a mother to half a dozen kids, for those of you who don't know me. My name is Greta Campagnolo, as Alicia said. And yeah, I'm excited to get on with this book review, because last week was just really, it just really got me thinking. It really awakened parts within me and just made me realize certain things that I had already been doing, certain things that I needed to hear again. And I'm excited for you that you are here with us today, because I know you'll have the same breakthroughs and the same feelings and be able to walk away with some essential things and tools that you can use to create that millionaire mindset that you need in order to achieve your goals and dreams. So excited to be here, and excited because I know the ladies are going to hop on with us, so you'll be able to hear from Keisha and Valerie as well. Who knows where they are? It just gets crazy with kids sometimes, and I know most likely if you're on this Hangout with us, I mean, maybe not, but I'm assuming that you're going to be a mom and you know what it's like to be crazy. Or maybe you're a dad and you just know what happens when you got kids. It just gets kind of crazy. So you just go with the flow.
Always, always, girl. We should have Keisha hopping on here in a minute. She's kind of refreshing her computer, and I haven't heard from Valerie. Hopefully she'll jump on too. You never know her mom-on-the-go lifestyle over there in California.
She's at Disneyland or something. She likes to just, like, hop out, go to Disneyland, hop on with us from wherever.
Fun.
Maybe, like, on a roller coaster.
Wild. That's what you get for staying at home. All right, so let's get right into it, and we'll introduce Keisha whenever she's able to pop onto us. I thought we'd take a moment to just a little bit of review from last week in case you didn't get a chance to watch all of last week. We'll kind of give you a little snippet, but this Dream Giver book by The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson is very powerful if you really know a little background of Bruce Wilkinson. And with his background and I would say in Christianity and his devotion for the Lord and being able to create like a Bible faculty in over 83 nations, 32,000 people, he was like brought a whole big organizations together. So when you see a leader like that and how they are, organized over a whole lot of people, you kind of get a better sense of who they are and how they manage things. They not only manage their own home, but they manage, a lot of people and, how they've been able to build some stuff. So I think that's pretty amazing on, just seeing some of the numbers and organizations he's grown, and it's really neat to learn about him, to how he kind of put this book together. Because you can see it was just asking you right out in front, is this book for you if you have a dream? It kind of questions your dream that you're searching for. Because I always have that tagline, Greta's getting on me, you got to empower the success dreams, and that's what I try to do. And so this book kind of really spoke to me, going, what is that dream, and the journey to find that success dream that you find. And if you're a Christian, like reading this book from different parts of the Bible, it references and it shares that when you're a Christian, your focusing is on God, is on striving towards heaven and all the stuff that he helps you focus on. So he doesn't, I think, question your belief in that, but he also references a lot. And there is so much more references in this part, too, inside the Bible that he gets back inside to. So I want to briefly describe part 1, kind of the outline of the chapters and kind of the journey that this book is taking you throughout your life here. So the part 1 starts off with how we've got the characters called Ordinary. And Ordinary is in his regular dream, his regular life, and he's got his parents, he's got the same old routine, and he just wakes up and says, I was born to dream bigger. I was born to do something. And so he tells, his best friend, and he tells his parents, and they just laugh at him. The only person that kind of gave him hope is his dad, and he says, I gave that up, and it just seemed something so big, and I never pursued it. And he had the story of like this feather, and the feather kind of withered away because he felt like it was just too late for him to ever focus on his dream. So I think he was sad but he realized, his dad had a dream, and like nobody else had a dream. Nobody was excited, they all laughed, and I was, get real, and I think that kind of, it reflects my life in a way too, because almost everybody says you're not going to make it. You're not going to. Why didn't you just get a job and the things that you do? And my dad is kind of like that little hope in me, and I see sometimes in him he says, I believe you can do this, but you got to do this fast. You got to get this done. So we go back and forth all the time, me and my dad, and it's a tough love, and it's so hard. So I am like right there with like the dad and the son, what kind of relationship that he has in this book. I think that's why this book kind of spoke out to me so much. I'm like, dang it. And if you knew my dad, you might have a better reflection on how I'm responding to this. So someday I'll share a little bit more about him, but he doesn't really he kind of has that secret millionaire background lifestyle that doesn't really want to be shared. So sometime I'll come out and share a little bit more about him.
Awesome.
So the chapter 2 goes into how Ordinary is now decided to leave. He is going to go out in his comfort zone, and he's taking courage, he's being brave, and he's going out there. And it, shares how he's leaving that comfort zone. It's kind of like they described leaving I don't know if it's like a gate or like crossing the river, but he's set to leave. So he goes out and leaves in chapter 2, and in chapter 3 he's going to meet the bullies in the borderland, and this is where he starts figuring out how he's going to get past it, because he's now still really uncomfortable. He knows he's left that familiar lifestyle, and nothing is the same old anymore. How people are going, hey, how are you? Oh, same old. And I've never answered that way anymore. I go to church and it's like, oh, same old. I was like, really? I'm like, I can't answer that anymore. My life is not same old anymore, because I've left that comfort zone. I'm facing the bullies at my portfolio. So now he's kind of upset, and he's got some of these conversations going back and forth with some of these bullies, and so this is where I felt like I was kind of them, and those bullies with like my dad in the background, and the things like, is he a bully or is he with me or not? So just press on, Yeah, you can't sway all your bullies. In the end, you have to decide who I would please. And so he focused on the dream giver. Said, the dream giver believes in me. I know I can go reach my dream giver. So that's just kind of a solution, his hope out there. And more people are kind of reaching, what is that hope, that you're trying to find when you have all these bullies and stuff come out there. I know we're trying to reach that solution. So number 4, the ordinary reaches the wasteland, and from here it just kind of revolves. I feel like now he's facing that bullies, he's evolving into the wasteland, and finding that way to get out that is not waste. He's kind of challenging the dream giver. Does he trust him, and so forth. And then chapter 5, he's questioning himself with the dream giver now. Is he pleasing the dream giver, or what's his relationship with the dream giver? So ordinary goes back, and dream giver asked him to give him his dream back, and ordinary refused. Like, wait, you gave me the dream. And so he's questioning his relationship with the dream giver. And so this chapter 5 is finding that sanctuary and his relationship with the dream giver and where he should stand with his dream. So in the last chapter, there's 2 chapters, there's 7 chapters in the first section. The 6th chapter is facing giants. And so he's finding his relationship with this dream that is just so much bigger now. And then he has to face these huge giants and finding where does he stand with, having this dream even bigger and the giants coming at him. So he's still finding that royal self of his relationship with the dream and where does he stand with it. And he shares that, I am a warrior now, and he has so much more confidence that he knows that unbelief is too dangerous, and he knows that he has the power to face all these giants, all this stuff that's coming at him now. And in chapter 7, he really sees the land of promise and finding that he can accomplish any dream that he wants to, any dream he gives out, anything that comes at him. So he finds solitary, that land of promise. He's so happy. I feel like now he's at peace, and he writes a letter to his father and sharing, it's not too late. You can go reach this now. I just found my land of promise, my peace. I'm there. So before we get into part 2, Greta, or if you're out there, Keisha, come out and share any last thoughts you want of part 1 before we get on to part 2, which is the journey of your big dream.
Keisha?
She's there, and she's trying to get on.
Let's see. Oh no! What was that?
Echo, you're there.
Are you there, Keisha? Can you unmute yourself? I want to give her a chance because she may be having difficulties with her connection, and I don't want to start talking and then have her not be able to.
Always fun with figuring out connections. I know that journey.
There.
Okay. Ladies, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is like 2 weeks in a row. I'm having these crazy connection issues. I tried to jump on last week for part 2, but for part 1, but I'm so excited that I'm here today with the review of part 2 of The Dream Giver, which, Alicia, thanks so much for breaking it all down for our viewers. It's just amazing. And, Greta, the image you shared today about the book and the impact it will have on you as a parent, as with children, where we came into contact with this book now. I'm at 45, right? But because we are now in contact with the book, we have the book here, learning from the book, learning from the concepts and principles in the book. We can now share this with our children, with other people in our lives. I have children ages 24 to 7, and everything that I read, every audio that I hear, every book that I read, it impacts my life, it changes me, and I impart that into my children, into other people, my mother, when I talk with her. And so it's so key, to read these books. This is why we're doing this book club, book of the month. So this is taking a little bit more than a month, but we want you to really get the full impact of this amazing book. So we're taking our time with it, and we appreciate you joining us to watch it. But these books will change your life. And, I'm just so glad to be here today. So, Greta, I'm just going to let you talk to the people and share your insights and, how it's impacting you and your family. I just got off the meditations, the sequence you did from last week when we were away, and just so amazing. So, guys, stay connected to us. Join us on the book club, the audios, everything that we want to share with you. Take part in it. You will see transformations in your life, changes in your life that you can then share with those that are close to you to help them live dreams. They don't got to wait till they're 45, right? Start living their dreams. Start now. And I'm excited about everything we have here for us and for you.
Oh, that is so beautiful and so, so true. I can't really put it in better words than you just did for us right now, Keisha. It just really is. It just impacts your life, and when you impact your life and you give to yourself, and as my new little quote that I like to say, love yourself, love your life. It starts within yourself, and this is why we get together every week, just to remind you of how important you are to those loved ones that you have in your life, and how, everything, it's all encompassing. When you give to yourself and you feed yourself, you read books, you listen to audios, you do all these things that we speak about and that our guests speak about every week or every time we have a new guest that comes out and shares, their heart, their vision, their why, everything that they do to achieve their goals and dreams, and why they're doing it and who they're doing it for, which is usually starts with their family. It's so empowering. It just gets me going. It fuels my fire every single day, and my kids are just such a huge part of this, as Keisha was talking about. It starts with you, and it can start right now. So all you have to do is make the decision. And you can join us on this journey. There is a link below. You can click that link and get connected on the inside with us. You can do it now while we're continuing to go through the review. You can do it right now. It will not take you off this page. It'll open up somewhere else, right? Right, ladies? And they won't lose us, so you won't lose us. And just stay connected. Listen to Alicia, because she really has broken down this book like so key. And I know as doing some research, there is a book, right, Alicia, for children as well.
Yeah,
There's
there might be teens and kind of probably spouses too, I think, or something like that. Or there's a couple different themes that he does. So I forgot to pick them at the library. I know they're waiting for me. I think they're like downloads I need to go get or something. It's kind of weird. So I've kind of got stuck in the middle of another book, and I was like, I got to go get that one too. So, so we're ready for part 2. You guys going to have to help me out with this one, because this one's a pretty big one, because it's Journey to Your Big Dream. The way this book ends, it just kind of threw me off, because it starts off how he starts meeting his dream coach. And it says, God has given you and set out on a journey to achieve it. He lays out principles of, the promised land and stories of Moses and Joshua and successful dreams. So he uses the Bible as an example of the patterns of the stories laid out that we should use from the previous part that he just explained, previous part of the book. And so he re-emphasizes these 7 different things are like a repeated pattern revealed throughout the Bible. So there's 7 different things. I'll kind of read them all here, and then we can comment or go through them if they make sense or help you guys at all. It says, number 1, become aware of your personal dream or calling, then decide to pursue it. And number 2, face fear as they leave a place of comfort. Number 3, encounter opposition from those around them. Number 4, endure a season of difficulty that tests their faith. Number 5, learn the importance of surrender and consecration to God. And number 6, fight the giants that stand between them and the fulfillment of their dream. And number 7, reach their full potential as they achieve their dream and bring honor to God. So he uses these 7 patterns and goes through the example in the book of, say, the story of Moses. And he explains how the story of Moses has this pattern of how Moses was trying to pursue that dream or calling. He was trying to help bring people out of the promised land and Egypt and what he had to do. And he showed how he placed that fear, like, I couldn't go talk to Pharaoh, so he got Aaron to, So, and he does different examples from the stories and goes through each of these 7 steps. So you can see this repeated pattern from the stories from the Bible. So I thought that was really interesting on how he takes each one of these points and shares from that story how they tested their faith, how they went through each of these repeated patterns. So that was really enlightening for me to kind of learn this. So this might be one of those books, they have some like women classes around here in some of the church buildings we do, and we always take like books and study them. So this might be a good book for you guys to go take to your church family or something too, and study with some, a bunch of women, or just a small group to take on a different level and take stories like this to find those repeated patterns and how they can reflect in your life. Do you guys have anything to comment on those 7 repeated patterns there?
Actually, I do, Alicia. And I think what Greta was saying actually segued right into what you said. And when we talked about, she said it takes a decision, right? And I talked about knowing your dream or just following your dream, which is so important and key. And I just lost my train of thought. But it was something that you said that stood out to me. But what I know what it is. It's about having faith. Having faith. And what I love is that something you said earlier this week, because we are in the same networks online, and I've often said and done a blog post about it. We're doing this book review, but one of the most important success books that I believe is the Bible. So the fact that the Dream Giver, this author, and many people, Napoleon Hill, a lot of authors, they extract from the Bible, the laws of success, all of these things. So it comes from that, the principles that are laid out in the Bible. And this is not a Christian or spiritual hangout, but however, it just goes to show you that you want to have success, you have to align spiritually, and you have to have faith. And what I wanted to share is that you want to have faith that everything that you want to achieve, you can achieve. You have it all inside of you to help you do it. You just got to get connected to what it is that you truly, truly want. Your core desires, what it is. We talked about that earlier this year, getting connected. And this is why I love that we focus with this book first, because it just segues right into it. And we're just right on path to helping people have major, major revelations, transformations, and I'm excited about that. So just want to say you got to have faith, but like Greta said, you have to make a decision to go after what it is your dreams are. Greta, did you want to say anything?
Oh my God, it's crazy over here. That's what I gotta say. Yes, I completely. I'm always learning new things on these hangouts. Who don't eat that? It's not good anymore.
Push it.
Did he squish it? Oh my goodness. Anyway, this is River.
Hey, River. Y'all are having fun over there, huh?
And so yeah, just to go on. I'm not Christian. I'm not a religious person myself. I did grow up going to church, so I do have a lot of experience with that myself. But I would consider myself an extremely spiritual person, and faith and all that stuff is huge for me in my life, and you know, in the way that I raise my kids and everything. And I'm very open-minded. Obviously, I am, because I'm here on this hangout with these amazing women, Christian women, and yeah. So whether I just want to make it really clear as well, like Keisha said, this, you know, isn't loving. This is just a loving hangout, and I want to be myself because there's a whole lot of love going on in the background here.
Well, we love you, Greta.
You're so much fun, Greta. I love it because that really shares, you know, the grounding of us. You know, we gotta stay grounded and throughout chaos to keep moving forward. Greta, you're awesome.
Don't let anything stop us, right? We just got to keep going, right?
Yes, so chapter 8 here. You were born for this.
It's inside of you, everything you need.
That's right. It says your heart's going to be laying on the big dream. This big dream told him that he, as a nobody, was made to be somebody and destined to achieve great things. So there's like different, I want to say like villages or something along in this that I felt like was kind of described in this contact, and they have ordinaries from the ordinary village, I guess. They have nobodies in another village. They have somebodies, and they're all kind of talking to each other and helping them along this. So they're having these conversations, and one of the questions was, what have I always been great? You know, have I always been great? What needs do I care about most? Who do I love most? What makes me feel most loved? What do I love most? What have I felt called to do? So tell someone you were born for this. So these questions are really, you know, opening your eyes. If you can name something specific, what do you love? What do you really care about? What would make you feel fulfilled is really reaching out beyond yourself, reaching out to that big dream, reaching out. Tell someone else what is it you love? What is it you really want to do? And I think that's sometimes very hard to communicate in the right way, because they're not looking at it the same way you are, and you have to describe to them how you are looking at it, and they may never look at it the same way you are. And I think that's the challenging and really answering these questions with clarity. You guys have any comments about this chapter, about some of those questions that really are brought up?
I don't know if Greta, are you ready to jump on? Or I did want to just say it has to do with finding out what serves you. And we're not saying you need to be focused on being selfish or self-centered, but truthfully and honestly, I used to be the type of person that was such a giver that I put myself last, and I didn't think about what Keisha needed, what makes Keisha feel good. And so many times as parents and just caregivers, we are just giving so much that we don't receive. We're not receiving. So it's time for you to decide what makes you feel good, what makes you smile. And I also, you know, used to years ago believe that it took someone else to make me happy, to give me joy, and all of those things. No, it doesn't. It comes from within. It comes from the mindset that you have. And I just was having this discussion with my daughter. I have 3 girls, and they're from 17 to 24. So they're, you know what that's like, ladies, to be 17 and 24 years old and love lives and all of those things. And I just had to tell my daughter last night, like 2 in the morning, honey, you got to love yourself more than anything, and that you have to know what makes you feel good. Know that you deserve only the best, and that you need to connect with the things that make you feel good. If something's not making you feel good, it's not serving you. It's not doing any justice to you, and that's what you need to do to connect with. So it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be a struggle. It shouldn't be all of that. Love is not about that. Following your heart is not about that. It should just feel good. So if it's not making you feel good, it's not right. So I truly, truly connect with those things. And like I said, it took me quite a few years to figure it out. And I'm still learning daily. But as I learn, I want to share what I'm learning. And that's why we're doing what we do here. So, guys, I hope you're getting some incredible value from what is being shared on this Hangout. Matter of fact, I know you are. So if you could just look at how you can apply it to your life, you'll have the best impact with this book, The Dream Giver.
Yeah, you said that so beautifully. Again, Keisha, I just have to say quickly, one of the most important things, one of the things that I am reminded by every single day of why this journey has been so important to me, the decision that I made a couple of years ago, you know, being on like a similar page as this, when I made that decision that yes, I'm going to click that link and do whatever it takes to get all in, and just all in, heart, mind, body, soul, financially, in any and every way possible. That was the decision that brought me to this place that I'm in now, realizing that I do love myself, and that I'm, as important as my role as a mother is in my life, being Greta is even more important to my children and more impactful to my children and their future. And I didn't realize how lost I was. I didn't realize how much I was missing before I became a part of this and really immersed myself in this community. I was seeking authenticity, and then this came into my lap, and it was like a breath of fresh air, and I knew I was in the right place at the right time. I just knew it, and I just like made this like commitment with like I said, this commitment from the inside out, and I just knew I was going to do whatever it took, and I started to become the person that I need to be for my children, which is not just a mom, but a woman, a person of empowerment and belief and strength and everything. It's just it just means everything to me. I lost myself, and I'm so glad that I'm now here on this journey with all of you, because now I have a voice, and this voice is helping my children have a voice for themselves now, today, instead of waiting and having to heal, right? You know, having to go through that healing and having to let go and renew new thought patterns and all that. These patterns are happening now for them in their lives, and the impact that they're having today on others' lives, for me, is just like, it's just everything. It's like being able to live on purpose and live my life with purpose and watch my children do the same is.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's
amazing.
So yeah, I love it. I love this. I love this review. It just is bringing up so much, you know, reminding me and reminding us, obviously, reminding Keisha that the thoughts and the words and everything that's coming up for all of us. And you, Alicia, with your relationship with your dad, everything. This is like a healing session, you know, and I love it.
All right, we're ready for chapter 9. Living past the edge. Okay, so he found that he had broken through his comfort zone, and we have comfort zone misconceptions. There's 2 of them. Number 1 is, since I feel fear, my dream must not be from God. And misconception number 2 is, I can't go forward unless God takes my fear away. So these are both 2 very powerful, knowing your relationship with how you feel about fear and your relationship with God. And I think this one has a lot of it was a lot deeper, I guess, information inside. I didn't write a whole lot of notes because it was just kind of describing both of them. I probably should have put more key points in this one and went back, but maybe you can kind of share how you feel about some of these misconceptions, even if you haven't read the book, and just knowing those misconceptions, maybe have some insights about your fear and the relationship on how you use that fear. And you guys want to share anything?
I'm actually looking for an image. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was actually looking for an image that I posted on my business page the other day, and it was a couple, so I'm trying to find the right one that really spoke to this. But truthfully, it is, you have to believe those things that sometimes you can't see. So when you have your dreams, it may seem like, okay, I'm not sure, I have this fear, so it can't be right. But when you truly believe and take action on it, you'll find that the things are aligning with you achieving this dream that you have, the thing that you have connected with that you want to achieve, even though you have the fears. But how you get over the fear is just to have the courage to take action. Even though you may not understand it, you may not see it, you have the fear. Nothing beats a failure, right? But a try. So you got to do it. You just got to take action on it. And it's not true, because God doesn't want you to live in the spirit of fear. And I don't want us to really go too deep into Christian Bible, whatever, which is me. But and I would never, I always am excited to share that. But God wants you to have all that your heart desires, and He will align things so that it can happen. So the fears doesn't mean that it shouldn't happen. That means that you have to get past it. So that means you got to take some action to get you past that. Got to start moving, step out of that comfort zone. Just get past those little hurdles, and with each step, it'll get better and it'll get better, and it will start to. You'll see the path. And as Greta said, she decided she wanted something, and so therefore this came into her her life, and things began to change for her. And now it's not only changing for her, but for everyone that's connected to her. Her children are inspiring people, grown adults. I'm a witness to that. And so it's just really amazing that what you can do once you just get past those fears. But we just encourage you to just take the steps, and don't believe that because you have a fear that means it must not be right. No, that means that you have some action to take.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, excuse me, I'm still fighting this cold. Anyways, I think one of the things that helps me overcome my fears is, again, being a part of this community, being able to reach out to women when I do have those moments of whatever it may be, whatever may come up. If I'm fearing doing something, maybe cutting the camera on and cutting a video. It's funny, I can hop on these Hangouts anytime and be me and share, but grabbing my phone and turning the camera on, maybe you can relate. Sometimes
I can relate. We just talked about this yesterday, Greta.
Absolutely, and we can kick each other in the butt when we need it, right? Nice little gentle, kick in the butt just to get things going, right? It's really important when you're on this journey. There's things that come up, life happens, and there's challenges and different things that come up that can take you off course a little bit. And when you get off course a little bit, those fears tend to rise up to the surface a little again, right? And the amazing thing about being a part of this community is that I don't even necessarily need to send out a message and say, hey, I'm struggling with this, or can you help me? Just you know, just get myself out of this funk or whatever it is. Usually people, we're so connected on such a deep level that it's like we know, you know, if we don't see so-and-so or somebody's not chatting as much as usual in the group or whatever, we send each other a message, we reach out to each other. And sometimes just a simple, hey, I'm here, is all you need to get yourself out of that place, get yourself out of that funk, to be reminded of who you are and what you're capable of. And one of the things that really helps, another one of the things that really helps me is to ask myself this question. If I have something that I need to do in my business or in my personal life, whatever it may be, fears come up all over the place at different times, I ask myself this question, okay, so let's say my daughter, Ilaria, had this same thing in her life, and she was presented with this opportunity or this thing that she needed to do. What would I say to her? Or what would I want her to do in this situation? And that gives me guidance and clarity right then and there. I know exactly what I need to do, because sometimes you need to remove yourself because for whatever reason, you know, it's easier to allow those fears to take over, which essentially are false evidence appearing real, right? So I'm sure you've heard that before, and that's just the thing. It's just, what would I want my kids to do in this situation? Would I want them to go for it? Of course. Of course. And, you know, if I'm going to encourage my kids to face their fears, then I sure as heck better be facing my fears and showing them that by example, not just telling them, no, do this, do that. You know, I've got to inspire them by example. And I know you get what I'm saying. And you know, it's just something. Fear is something that we all struggle with, but we can actually use it to empower us. It's such a powerful energy. Any energy that you feel, any thoughts, any emotions are all very powerful, and you can use them. You can turn them around and use them to empower yourself, whether they're fears or sadness or anger. I know anger is a really good one for me. I've used anger and turned it around and like done some crazy stuff. Amazing things, made some powerful decisions, you know, from that type of place, or hurt, you know. So, yeah, just face your fears, just go for it. And if you need, you know, if you need a hand, or you can reach out to any one of us. You know, that's something that I love to do. I'm up all hours of the night, and people know that in this community. So I get a lot of messages in the middle of the night. I may be breastfeeding, whatever. I'm there. You can call me. You know, it's just the way it goes. And a lot of us, I think all of us, and Valerie too, we're all up at, you know, different hours of the night, or kids wake us up, or whatever it may be. And most of all, our dreams fuel us. You know, it's like, it excites, it's so exciting to have dreams, to have visions, to have a why that is driving you and giving you this life and this power within yourself to just keep going and live your fullest life. Live your fullest life today and every day.
Yes. And Alicia, I think that's a great segue into the next chapter, where, Greta, you talk about surrounding yourself with positive people that are inspiring you, empowering you. And then the next chapter, so Alicia, you know, when you give these examples, I know some of our viewers there have experienced these type of people, but we want you to surround yourself with amazing people like Greta, Alicia, Valerie, and myself, so that you have what you need to get the extra boost to pump you up, to help you reach those dreams and desires that you have. So, Alicia, if you want to just go ahead and go over those next ones. And will we be able to get through all of them today, Alicia? Are we starting?
Oh, I hope so. There's only like 13 chapters, and we're starting on chapter 10, so hopefully it won't be too much longer.
Okay, yeah.
Chapter 10 starts the unexpected opposition. This is where the bullies would be nobodies he didn't know. He never imagined they'd be some of the nobodies who knew him best. So we have to know who is in our borderland, and I think just being aware of who's in your borderland, who's your bully, is like half the battle, more than half the battle. And because sometimes you don't even know, you're not really aware of what that bully is. And so he lists off several to help you learn more about what type of bullies you might face. So number one is a border bully opposes you. He met 4 bullies that you might recognize. Number one is the alarmist. This is not safe. The alarmist was kind of like the ordinary's mother. She was motivated by the fear and exaggerated all the risk to show you that, look, you are not doing the right thing. You need to go back to the safe zone, go back to the ordinary. In my case, go find you a stupid job, find a way to do this thing first, So that's the alarmist, and totally my mom too. Number 2 is the traditionalist. This is not the way we do it. He had his uncle that was like this in this story, and he was motivated by custom and routine. And I can totally see my sisters this way, actually, the traditionalists, because they have the traditionalist jobs with having the pharmacist and being the accountant. So totally traditionalist. I'm just laughing at this because it's totally my life too. So, and then number 3, the defeatist. This is the bully that just says it's simply not possible. You see every problem everywhere, and I'm certain that this dream won't and it can't happen. So they just don't quite see it. They're just defeating you. Everything that comes in your way, that is just not going to be possible. You will never succeed. You can't do this because you've never done it before. And that is one of the things that's coming up. You've never done it before, so how do you see that you can do it? And that is like the biggest defeatist that you can face in knowing that border bully. And totally, like, I've gotten that right back at me. So, come right at me. Number 4 is the antagonist. I won't let you. And this is the bully that is in this chapter is the landlord. He's the authority or the intimidation to block your path. They fear that they may lose money or control. They may not like you, and they have the power to stop you. This was totally my ex-husband. So I've gotten all these here. So in this different chapter, it finds that the border bully affirms and supports you. That you've got to find somebody that supports you. What people would you identify as valuable buddies that's going to help you in your journey to get over these border bullies right here? So this is what this little section was talking about, and how it ended up talking about a border buster is going to help you pursue your dream. So you've got to find those border buddies that support you to help you through these border bullies that are going to defeat you. And these are pretty strong, I tell you. I've gotten them. I just told you my relationship with all of them. How about you, ladies?
I mean, that's what I was talking about. I'm pretty sure once you gave those examples that they would find somebody that they could identify with these different types of bullies in their lives. And we are what? The border, what'd you say? Opposers, bully opposers, what are they?
Border buddies, right?
Right. So I was waving like, hey, here we are.
I'm right here helping you.
Click the link and get connected to our community. It's amazing. But yeah, and I really just want you to get to the next one so they could get all this good juicy stuff before we go. But if Greta, you have something else you want to say?
Do you want a piece of cheese? My kids are hungry, like every 5 seconds. Can anybody out there relate? Like, do your kids get hungry every 5 seconds? Sorry, this is what I'm doing right now. But I'm listening.
All right. Well, we'll let you. Alicia, so if you want to go
Chapter
on.
11, yes.
Yeah.
Diamonds in the desert. As we're multiplying the food change over there, the wind finally stopped, and Ordinary stood to his feet. But as far as he could see, there was only sand. The path to his dream disappeared completely. Obviously, the entire trip through the wasteland had been a waste. So his tears coursed down his dirty cheeks, and it says, "You're not a dream giver," he shouted to the sky. "You're a dream taker. I trusted you, and you promised me that you would help me, and you didn't. What a waste." And so he doesn't see his dream anymore. The gifts, and these are different topics inside the chapter that talks about, the gifts in the wasteland, what he finds, the importance of being in over your head. I think we feel that overwhelmness, and he talks about that. Training for greatness. Your gift comes with a price. And so it ends up with this chapter asking some questions in response to this journey that he's facing with all these, what can he find through the waste to find that hope. So here's one of the questions. How much do you want your dream to come true? And you have to find, how hard do you really want it, right? Do you really want that dream? Number 2, do you believe in the dream giver enough to trust his purpose and accept his plan of preparation, even if you don't understand or agree with it? And so you're kind of relying your whole dream and testing your faith and testing where it really stands. So you got to count all your joy, and it really has a deep conversation with his dream coach with these. I'll go ahead and finish some of the most common questions inside the wasteland. It says, what exactly should I do if I'm in the wasteland? Number 1, and there's 5 of them here. Number 1, identify whether you were actually in the wasteland, because you might actually be in your dream, because there's so many different, like, I would say mining for gold. If you've ever been in a gold mining field, it's just like tons of dirt, but there's speckles of gold or that shiny stuff that you can grab, and that might be your dream, you just never know exactly what you're going to pick out. Number 2, isolate the main areas where you trust in God needs to grow. What in your dream do you really doubt God about right now? And number 3, install a few safety nets beneath you to encourage and protect you when you feel like abandoning the call of the dream giver on your life. And I think that's kind of like what we're here doing to help, encourage and protect you. When you feel like giving up, you kind of reach back out into us. Number 4, increase the amount of time you spend with the dream giver. And so watching that time with relationship, I know I have to watch how much you fill your ears with the audios, depending on how much time you're focusing on your children, right? You're, finding that balance, knowing how much time you actually spend. Number 5, instill the commitment deep on your heart that you won't turn back. No matter how long or how hard or how painful the path is through the wilderness may be. And so I think that's very strong to know that your commitment, and now you are successfully that faith-filled dreamer because you've got that commitment, you've gone through this, you're finding that trust in yourself, knowing where you're at, where you stand, and it's just kind of really comes together through all these conversations of the wasteland and this whole chapter of the diamonds in the desert, because they're diamonds, and all this stuff is just so sensitive on exactly what you pick out. Anything before we go on to chapter 12 that you want to comment on this chapter? Kind of pretty powerful.
I just want to say one thing, that everything works for your good, the bad and the good. So that's what, like I shared earlier, you got to have joy, but the important thing is when you have the right mindset, you can see and still have joy, even when you feel like you're in the wasteland. You can still have joy. because there are diamonds and there are nuggets around. There is the glitter there, but you have to be able to identify it, and that's with having the right mindset. That's when you need that personal development that Alicia talked about, the audios. Recognize your support system. Recognize those people that are there to oppose those bullies and things like that. And so it's so key. And I just like the way that this book really just took a different spin on all of it, you know, and so that it can help you identify in another way. But it's just really, I think it's great. So that's all I want to say.
Great. Do you have anything, Greta? Is there feeding functions?
Forrest says he's flying in the air.
I'm good for now. I'm good for now. It's I do love the reminder that you just gave, Keisha, and I think it's really important for everybody to really listen to what Keisha just said, that all of it is for greater good. All of our experiences are for the greater good. I know that when I reflect, I learned that a long, long time ago in my life. Different things that I went through, like one in particular, losing my dad when I was 12 years old. That was really hard for me to actually see. I struggled so long. I mean, I was just a child, with really figuring out, okay, what good is in this, and you know, after time and grieving, the whole grieving process, which is a very long process if you've ever lost anybody close to you. I started to really think about all the good things that did come out of it, and I know it's kind of a hard thing to think, well, I mean, even for you maybe right now listening, what good could come of that? But a lot of good things did come out of it, and you know, like the love between myself and my family, and the relationships that I have now, and how I really truly value all of them more than maybe I would have had that not happened. And how important life really is, and how you really do need to take advantage of every moment that you have, and because you never know what's going to happen. So yeah, all of it is good. And sometimes the hardest things that you go through in your life give you the most strength, the biggest wins. And he's getting
Yeah. Thank you so much for that insight, Greta. It's beautiful what you shared, and just thank you so much, and just beautiful. I love you.
Yeah. Oh my. Chapter 12. A surprise invitation. This one had very deep sections inside of it, and I'll just kind of read the highlights of the sections. You'll really have to read the book to kind of understand it a little better. You know how it goes in stories, and it's hard to write notes on little stories, so that's kind of how it was going through, because it starts about beside still waters, and so it related to, you know, Psalm 23, a nation's spiritual retreat, and I know it had more scriptures and stuff in there. I just didn't write a lot of it. 3 invitations: come to water, come to the light, and come higher. Was more kind of relating to some biblical scriptures, and identifying the real owner, and that can be very powerful as well. He gives you something better. If you say yes, you're facing one of the 3 specific invitations. Number 1, will I allow God's love to bring rest and restoration in my body, my mind, and soul? Number 2, will I allow God's light to shine in my heart and then move forward into cleansing communion? Number 3, will I give my big dream back to the dream giver, no strings attached? So it really identifies your position as you're asking these questions. So that one kind of stuck out to me as it talked about the identifying the real owner. And then he talks about more conversations with the dream coach and how the world changers are among us, and how there's so many different influences around us through through this chapter. It's like it's a surprising invitation. You know, sometimes people call this as that struggle. Some people call it many different things that come at us. But you've made your solidarity, that you've made that commitment, and you know where you are with your dream, and it's always going to be there, and you haven't changed. You haven't changed in that decision, and because you know what it is now, and you feel pretty confident in it. So this is how things are. What you're going to do when that starts coming back at you, because it's always going to kind of be there as you're staying strong to your dream, and you're like, I'm going to keep pressing on to this network marketing thing. I'm going to stay in network marketing, or whatever industry you're in, to reach my dream that I know I'm going to get there. So that was kind of this chapter there, and there's only one left. Do you want me to go forward, or you have anything to say, ladies?
You can go ahead for it.
Okay, yeah, there's not much left. Chapter 13 is the heart of a warrior. Came upon a sign, beware the dreamer, the valley of the giants. What should he do? He's just decided to press on. He's going to keep continuing to face many giants. And I liked how it ended. It will be unique to you because your circumstances and your dream is different. And, oh, goodness, there's a little bit more. The way that this book ends, there's a lot more little topics here. I don't think it's necessary for me to list them all, because chapter 14 ends up with living out your big dream. And the way the book ends was just kind of took me off guard, because it talked about his journey to Africa and how it took how he saw the devastation with the children not having any parents, and how many children, like 13,000. Like, how can you imagine how many children were there without any parents? It's like 9-year-olds trying to be parents and trying to fend for themselves, to find their food, to find their living, to do everything that parents do to children. And it was just kind of like this was his way to find a solution for that, to come back to the States and get everybody aware of the tragedy that's over there and how many children were not being taken care of. And there's just towns and towns of this, and the way the AIDS devastation has gone on. So his whole focus, I felt like at the end, was a way to find a solution for this. And I know there's still people trying to help out and find a solution to control the AIDS and the epidemic, and especially the children over there, and how it affects all the parents just dying and having multiple kids, and they can't even support kids, and it's just crazy. They don't even know their parents, and that just it breaks my heart to kind of be more aware of that, but also the fact that I think he felt like, what is there to do? Like, you can't do anything. You have to live your life here, but you know that that's going on, but how do you help out over there? And so he shares some different missionaries that he does, like, this can help so many children, just giving this so much will help more, and some of the schools that they're trying to start out there to help teach, and these tons of orphanages, of course, and just the whole big atmosphere of it. So I didn't know, or you guys take on it, and how it kind of ended up with, this was his mission, to kind of help solve this AIDS epidemic or something with many orphanage children over there, and how this was like the big dream, going, oh my, I can help these kids, I can help this situation or something. Just so it kind of just opened your eyes to what it really was, to what you can do about it. It's just kind of, I don't know, it was just overwhelming to me in a way. I was like, and it ended like that.
What I did want to share, Alicia, is that when we think about our dreams, so we related this to our dreams and the things that we want for ourselves and our vision. And I know part of my dream is not only for me to be wealthy, where I don't have to have any worries for money or anything, but to help others reach, their dreams and help them in achieving their visions, right? And when we're able to do that, and I know there's many other ways to help other than monetarily, But when you're in a situation where you're living paycheck to paycheck, or you're not able to really do the things that you want to do or achieve in life because the income is just really not there, then you're not able to go to this land and help out and do these missions and travel across the world. So when there are opportunities for you to make a better way of life for yourself and to really achieve those dreams, that is him. I feel like this book was helping you to encourage you to go after your dreams so that you can help on a bigger mission, on a larger scale, and to have more of an impact in these, we don't want our own people in the United States to live that way, and we definitely don't want to see so many people suffer in third world countries. But you need money to do things, and definitely, I want to say is you have to find a path to get that wealth and get that money, and can't do anything being poor for sure. Greta,
Yeah,
did you share anything?
absolutely. I think that's a very important factor that, a lot of people struggle with, depending on how you were raised, things that you were told and said, money doesn't grow on trees, like different beliefs that our grandparents, that comes to mind. I always heard that growing up. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. Maybe you've heard things like that. Those are very common, and so that can sort of, I know that was a struggle for me until I started to become more aware and how I could shift that and change that within myself, because I've always been like the type of person. I remember saying, I just want to be able to volunteer my whole life. I don't want to get paid for things, because I felt like if I got paid, that I wasn't doing it for the right reason, that it took away from where it was coming from. And that's just not the case. I know that now. That's just not the case. That's not the truth. Though that comes from those things that I was told when I was younger growing up. And maybe you need to hear this right now for yourself. Maybe that's why you're here right now, to know that, money is energy, just like anything else, and it's what you do with it that counts. And the more you have, the more you can give, and the more you can make a difference in the world, and the more that we can impact, these people and these children all over the world that are struggling and that deserve to have a better life. It just breaks my heart knowing that this is going on. I feel grateful every day, not to take away from, it's not to take away from what you have. It's not to say, well, because these people are suffering that you have to suffer. That's not the truth. You need to get yourself where you need to be, become the strong person that you need to be in order to help those people. It doesn't mean that you need to suffer. You need to lift yourself up so that we can go out there and help change the world and help better the world all over. And that's, as hard as it is, and as sad as it is to see it and to expose yourself to the stuff that's going on there, I do feel that it's important to know these things. Not that you should completely immerse yourself in all of it, but I do make it an important part of my kids' lives so that they know, so that they can live in a place of gratitude, so that they know that their life matters and that they're here to make a difference. So I know that this hangout has been super awesome for me. Just so many reminders that I'm on the right path, and I know that for you watching, if you're still with us right now, that you feel the same way. So just make sure that you get in touch with us. The best way to do that is to just click the link below and get in with us on the inside, because this is just the surface. This is just the scratch of the surface. And if you've always felt that you wanted to make a difference in the world, I guarantee you this is the place for you where you can do that and flourish and become that person that you need to be. Be that person that you need to be, that you want to be, that you would want to follow, that you would want to, that you're inspired by. Become that inspired person so that you can inspire others to do the same. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Yes, thank you guys. Make sure you click the link below and get connected, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.